Who's actually going to get the most out of a 9-foot shuffleboard table in a home setting? Who could safely walk away? And does the price make sense for an everyday buyer? Those are the questions that keep most people up at night before they click Add to Cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's dig into the real-world considerations that separate a good purchase from a regret. First off, the biggest hesitation most folks have is whether a shuffleboard table will actually fit into their living space and still be usable without turning the room into a permanent game zone. The Austin model measures a little over 9 feet long, which is a sweet spot for many rec rooms, basements, or even a larger living room corner. It isn't a full-size tournament board, but it's long enough to give the feel of a proper game while staying manageable for a family that still needs room for a couch and a coffee table. If you're living in a tight apartment, you'll quickly discover the table dominates the floor plan, and the leg levelers, while handy for uneven subfloors, won't magically shrink the footprint. The next thing people wonder about is the look versus the wear. Hathaway went with a rich mahogany finish that reads like a piece of classic furniture rather than a piece of sports equipment. In a home where you want the table to blend with other decor, that finish is a real plus. However, the Playfield itself is a 1.5-inch thick maple veneer over engineered wood, not a solid slab of maple you'd find in a professional arena. For casual players who shuffle a few games a week, the veneer holds up just fine, especially when you use the supplied brush and wax regularly. If you're planning intense daily sessions or expect the surface to survive a bustling bar environment, you might start seeing surface wear after a few months of heavy use. Scoring is another point that splits opinion. The Austin comes with a built-in Abacus scorer, which sounds clever until you try to keep track of a fast-moving game. The Abacus works well for a relaxed evening with kids, letting everyone see the score at a glance without needing a separate scoreboard. But the sliders can be a little stiff, and resetting them between games can interrupt the flow. Serious players who rely on precise, quick score changes might find it more of a novelty than a practical tool. Noise is a hidden trade-off that many don't consider until they actually set the table up. The carpeted gutters run along each side of the playfield and do an impressive job of dampening the clatter of pucks hitting the edge. In a house with upstairs neighbors or a shared wall, that sound reduction is noticeable. You'll hear the puck sliding, not the thud of it slamming into hardwood. On the flip side, the carpet adds a slight amount of friction when a puck rolls into the gutter, which can affect the final score in a close match. It's a minor thing, but if you're a purist, you'll notice it. Storage and convenience are where the Austin pulls ahead of many competitors in its price range. Each pedestal leg hides a small compartment, perfect for stashing the 8 included pucks, the brush, and the wax when you're not playing. The levelers make it easy to get the table perfectly horizontal on uneven floors, which is a blessing if your basement has a slight slope. Those features translate into fewer trips to the garage for a wrench and fewer arguments about who gets to keep the pucks out of the way. If you value a clean, ready-to-play setup, that integrated storage is a genuine time saver. Now, who should walk away from this purchase? If you're a competitive shuffleboard player chasing a sanctioned 12-foot, full maple surface with a precision-grade scoring system, the Austin will feel like a step down. The shorter length limits the range of shots, and the Veneer Playfield doesn't meet tournament specifications. Likewise, anyone on a tight budget should pause. While the table isn't the cheapest on the market, you're paying for the mahogany finish and the built-in scorer, which may be overkill if you simply want a place to toss a puck now and then. A stripped-down, play-finish model could give you the same basic experience for less. On the other side of the coin, the sweet spot for this table is families who want an activity that can sit out in a living space without looking out of place, casual adult groups hosting game nights, and small to medium venues that appreciate the aesthetic boost a mahogany piece provides. The included pucks, brush, and wax make it a turnkey solution you can unpack, wax the surface, and be ready to play within minutes. The padded gutters keep the noise low enough that kids can